formulas are VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index and match, then index and match as well. Okay, now we're going to work on them bit by bit so you know how important they are for a data analyst. Okay, now quickly, here we have a simple table of just names, job title, department, and salaries. Okay, now we're going to use a lookup formula to make it so dynamic in such a way that we can search within this and get the data for the salary and the department. Without much ado, let's dive into it. Now, first of all, we need a drop down list for these names. Okay, how do we do that? Subsequently, I'll still explain better on this topic, on this part, how to make things like this. Okay, we do something called data validation. Okay, so we need to put a data validation rule here that will make a list available for us to work with. Okay, now we click here. Okay, let me start again so you understand properly. From the home, okay, you click at the data tab here and then click on this small icon here, this one with the 2 dash and a check. Okay, you see the pop-up comes out, data validation, and then click on it. Okay, here you select list because that's what you need. Allow lists, that's what you're saying, and then you check, you pick your location where your data is. So highlight these cells that the data is in and then click back here. Okay, that's all, and then okay. Okay, now you've simply inserted a list in it. Now if you look, you have a drop down here of all the names of the students in all the names of the workers in the place. Okay, quickly let's work on the formula so we understand what they do and how to work with them. Okay, now to use a VLOOKUP formula is just basically you put the equal to sign and then type the formula name, which is VLOOKUP. Okay, and then hit tab. Now if you look here, you have your parameters, you have your lookup value. So the lookup value is what you're looking up for within a particular table. Okay, now our lookup value is just this cell here. Okay, whatever is in this cell, that's what we need. Then F4 to make it a $sign, to make it an absolute reference, pardon me. Okay, now comma, and then you select your table array. Okay, the table array, that means where the data is. Now the data is in this part I have highlighted, so from B4 to E8, the table B4 to E8. Now also make that an absolute cell reference, then use a comma, and then the colon index, the colon that you want to look up for, the colon that your lookup value is in. Now, how do we count this colon? This is the first 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so that means our lookup value is in colon 4 of our table. Then after that, we'll put a comma to determine if we want exact match or approximate match. So for exact match, you type false, or just double click on the false appearing on your screen. For approximate match, you type true in capital letter or just double click as well. But double clicking will save you a lot of time, so we'll do that. Okay, and then we close our parentheses and then hit enter. Now this is our value for our staff here, Kaylee, and this is his value, his salary, using VLOOKUP. Okay, now if we change this, it is very, very much dynamic. So you see, once you change the name, what's it called, the salary also changes. Okay, that's why VLOOKUP is very, very important as well. Now let's do the same for our department so you understand it better. So we start equal VLOOKUP. Okay, it's out, then we use our tab to complete it. Now what are we looking up for? Also for the value here, the name of the staff. Okay, in anchor tags. Okay, and then comma. Now what's our table array? These are table. Okay, we highlight all our table, and then anchor tag again, and then comma. Our colon index is what? Where the return value we want, where is it? Is in colon 3, because this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, so put 3 there, and then comma, we want the exact match. Double click and then close the bracket. Okay, hit enter, and then we have engineering. So Kaylee is in engineering, so we go down to the next person. His salary is this, and is in sales department. Okay, that's how powerful index VLOOKUP is. Okay, now if you have any question, don't forget to ask and keep on practicing. Okay, let's go to the next one, which is HLOOKUP. Okay, here I've already done the data validation rule. Okay, So we don't need to go through that again. Let's save some time. Now, salary. Now, in this case, VLOOKUP here, if you notice, it works to the vertically this way. Okay? Vertically. And again, it works only to the left. It doesn't work to the right. Okay? It doesn't work to the left. It works only to the right. Okay? That's how it works. It always works this way. It doesn't go this way, but this way. So it's always going right and not left. Now, our HLOOKUP, on the other hand, is horizontal, pardon me. The VLOOKUP is vertical and the HLOOKUP is horizontal. So the table has to be in this form, horizontally, okay? And in the VLOOKUP, the table has to be vertical. That means the data must be beneath and the headings of the table be above, but in what's it called? HLOOKUP, that's the horizontal lookup. The data must be by the left and the headings must be by the left and the data to the right. Okay, that's basically how it works. Just remember this: use HLOOKUP for tables like this, and then use VLOOKUP for tables like this. Okay, that's just all. Now let's do the same thing we did there, but for the salary. Okay, now we're going to type equals HLOOKUP. Okay, it's out. Then tab, and then what's our lookup value? What are we looking up for? We're looking up for the name here. Then put it in anchor tag. It's very good. It's a good practice. It's the first sign to know who is a professional and who is not. Okay, so HLOOKUP and then comma. Okay, then table array. These are table array. Our table is within these parts here. Okay, and then put them in anchor tags as well. F4 and then comma. Okay, now our row index counts. What do we want? The salary is the fourth one. 1, 2, 3, 4. The fourth row. So 4. And then we put a comma and then specify our lookup type, which is false for exact match. And then we close our brackets, hit enter. We get the value for Kaylee. Now, as it was there, if you change it, it is now very, very dynamic. Okay, interactive, so to say. Now let's do the same thing for our department. So equals HLOOKUP tab, and then what's our lookup value? This cell here in anchor tags, comma, what's our table array? This is our table array here, and then in anchor tags as well, comma, then we have our row index. Our row index is 3. Okay, 3, and then comma, and then false for exact match. Close the parentheses, hit enter, and then we found out that Harper is in the IT department. So if you change it to Kaylee, you get your engineering. If you change it to Robert, you get his department and his salary. Okay, that is how the HLOOKUP works. Remember, HLOOKUP works for this kind of table, the horizontal type of table where the data are to the horizontal, while VLOOKUP works for tables that the data are to the vertical. Now let's quickly look at another formula, the index formula. Okay, the index formula is just a formula that looks through a table and returns the value within a specific cell. Okay, let's do that quickly so you understand. And also this part is also interactive because I've placed a validation rule here that enables it to change this way. Okay, we'll look at it subsequently as the course goes on. Now we start equals index and then tab. Okay, to save us some time. Now our array is where the data is. Okay, now if you specify one row as your array, then you just use a row number. But if you specify a whole table, then you have to use a row number and a colon number. So let's specify a whole table so you understand what I'm saying. So this is a whole table here, and then F4 to put them in anchor tags, comma. Now what's our row number? Okay, what are we looking for? Salary. Kaylee is in row 1. Okay, so we'll put our row number as 1. Okay, then our column number is 4. So we'll put a 4 there and then close our bracket. Then hit enter, we'll get the salary for Kaylee. Obviously, it's not in our salary, so let's quickly do that. Put them in $, and then reduce the decimals. Okay, now that's how you do it. Let's do the same thing for department so you understand better. So equal index tab, our row. Now let's use just this department here so you understand this part better. So this is our row, put it in an anchor tag. So in this case, all we need is a row number. We don't need what's it called, a column number, because we specified only one column. Okay, so the department for Kaylee is in column 1 and row 1. So we just put our row number 1 there and then close the bracket. So we have engineering. Okay, that is it, basically how the index works. Now the index on its own, it's not that useful. Okay, it's a little bit it's not even dynamic at all. All right, it's not even dynamic at all. So it's when you combine it with match that it becomes very, very useful. Okay, we'll see that at the end, and I'll also explain how much of importance it is when compared to the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. Now quickly, let's use the match function so you understand how it works. Now the match function returns the column number, right? The column number of a particular data. Okay, but let's do that so you understand. Equal match, M-A-T, then tab, I believe it has come out, so tab, lookup value. Now our lookup value is Kaylee. Okay, now our lookup array is this cell here, this colon here with his name. Okay, and then let's anchor that, F4 to anchor, comma, and then okay, pardon me, the lookup value did not highlight, so let's do that again. The lookup value here, F4, comma, and then the lookup array, let's select this, and then F4 again to anchor, and then comma, then the exact match, that's what we use, 0 for exact match. So double click and then close the bracket, hit enter. Okay, now we've gotten that it is on the row 1 and column 1 of this particular data. Okay, that's basically the function of the match. It's not that useful. It just returns where the value where a data is located in a table, the row that it's occupying in a table, the position of the data. Okay, so even if we use it here, it is just the way it is, but it's now dynamic, if you notice. So Harper is in 2, this is in 3, and all of that. Okay, so combining the lookup, the match, and the index, pardon me, that is when it becomes more powerful. So let's look here. Okay, now we're going to be handling that of the index and match. Okay, now like I said earlier on, the index alone has no power, so to say. The match alone on its own, technically to me, it's almost useless. But when you combine the both of them, they are very, very powerful, even more than the lookup function, the VLOOKUP and the HLOOKUP. Okay, now we'll look at the reasons why, and also we're going to use it to handle this part of the project so you understand how to use it. Now to do that, we start with our index, equal index, tab to make it complete. Now we select our array. Now our array here, remember that the function of the index is to return a value from a certain array. Okay, now where is the value that is to be returned coming from? It's coming from this place here, the salary column. So this is going to be our return, our array. Okay, now F4 to anchor and then comma. Okay, now the next thing we need is the match. The match will provide us with every other details we need to work with the index formula. Now the match, what is our lookup value? Definitely is the name. Okay, we're using the name to sort them. So the name is on this cell here. So we anchor it and then comma. Now where is our lookup array for the name? Our lookup array for the name is here. Okay, comma, and what is our match type? Our match type here is 0. Okay, so just double click on 0 and then close the bracket, hit enter, and then we get our value here. Okay, now let's quickly run through it so you understand better. We have our array for our return value, which is this E here, from E6 to E10, which is this particular cells here. Okay, then we have our match function, which is returning the value for this cell. This is the lookup value for the match function. Okay, then within a specific range, which is this range. Okay, now we need to even make this absolute so we don't jump into problems subsequently. We don't have issues or problems later on. So F4 to anchor, and over here as well, we push the F4 again to anchor. Okay, now we hit enter and everything works well. Now, for the department, we'll do the same thing, but before then, let's quickly format this to look just like the way the others are, which is something like this. Yes. Now let's use the index and match again for this same function. So we start equal index. The formula is a little bit complex. Try it as many times as possible so you master it. Okay. Equals index. Now what's our row, our array that we're returning the value from? This is it, the department colon here. So we use an F4 to anchor, then comma. Then the match function comes up. Then match, okay, we have it now. Okay, now what is our lookup value? The name. We're using the name to sort them, right? So F4 to anchor, comma. And then what is our lookup array? The names here. Okay, and then F4 again to anchor, comma. And what is our lookup type? Exact match. That's what we want. Okay, and then hit enter, close your parentheses, close it again because you have two parentheses. That's why we had the error at the first one, and then hit enter. Okay, now we have engineering here. Now quickly let's look through if it is very dynamic. Okay, it is changing. The second person, the department comes up and the salary changes. Okay, that means it's working very, very fine. Now you need formulas like this more especially when you're building a dashboard on Excel, maybe an interactive dashboard. So just a little part of it that will be very dynamic. You can use formulas like this. Okay. So basically that is all about the index and match function. Now let me explain to you why this is very important. The index and match is very important because it can look up both to the left and to the right, both rows and columns. Okay, unlike the VLOOKUP that only works vertically and again to the left, this one is much better because it works both to the right and left. And also the HLOOKUP, which works only on horizontal tables, but this one works both on horizontal table and vertical table. You can try that out and tell me your experiences. Okay, and also in the index and match, if you should add insert another what's it called, a colon, you won't get issues. Okay, but in the VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP, if you insert new columns, you get issues because your column and row IDs will change. Okay, remember we count in VLOOKUP, we counted the columns and we also counted the rows to know where the data is to come from. Okay, so that is why index and match is more powerful than VLOOKUP and HLOOKUP. So try it, play around with it, and see if you can work with it properly. But if you have any issues, don't forget to ask in the forum provided. Thank you very much and see you in the next module.